Who will be the 2024 Breakthrough Player of the Year? I've got a video already in the channel looking at the contenders for World Player of the Year. Quick mention actually on that. Sorry, Cheslin Colby, I cannot believe I forgot to mention you on that shortlist. So humble apologies, Chesy. You totally deserve the mention. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. It's about the World Breakthrough Player of the Year, the young guns that have emerged in 2024. Who should be the nominees and who do you think should win that award? It gives us another little lens to look at these November tests through. Yes, rugby's a team sport. It's all about how the team contributes to a result. But there are some individual awards coming at the end of the month, and one of them will be the Breakthrough Player of the Year 2024. I have got 12 names. There will be 4 nominees that will be announced, I think, on the 18th of October. Then there will be one winner announced on the 24th of October at the World Rugby Awards in Monaco. And I've got basically my potential winners, I've got them in threes. I've got 3 that are on the shortlist straight away for my money, 3 that are trying to squeeze themselves into that 4th spot, and then I've got like C and D. 4 lots of 3, A, B, C, D, in that order. So I've kind of ranked them, and my number 1 contenders, firstly, are Emmanuel Foso, who has had a meteoric rise. He's 2023-24, last season, was his first ever full season of professional rugby. He was at Wasps when the club went bust. He still is doing a medical degree. He was doing it at Cardiff. Now he's doing it at Exeter University, where he was playing student rugby whilst also training with Exeter Chiefs. He made an incredible breakthrough into the first team and has translated that form into international rugby instantly. What an impact this guy has had. 8 caps for England, 4 tries in 5 starts, including 2 tries in both of the test matches away in New Zealand. And it's not just the fact he scores tries, it's the kind of size of the interventions that he has on rugby matches that are so impactful. This picture is from the break that he made against Ireland, which basically set up the win for England. The guy is absolutely different class. And were I picking a World Breakthrough Player of the Year right now, I'd give it to Emmanuel Foso. There is a few games to be played in November, though, and there are other players that will have something to say about that. Unfortunately, Sasha Feinberg-Ngomazulu is not going to be able to answer that himself because he's unavailable due to injury this November, which is a real shame. That said, I still think he will be nominated and could well end up winning. And you know how much I've raved about my favourite radio station, Sasha FM, on the channel. I absolutely love this guy. The swagger, the confidence. It was when he stepped up and walloped that massive penalty kick from inside his own half against Wales at, was that at Twickenham? Yeah, I think it was at Twickenham. And it was like, this guy is to the manner born. And then I went out to South Africa to watch those test matches against Ireland, and he just instantly made an impact. What a player. So he could well end up winning it. And if he does, I wouldn't begrudge that at all. He is he'll be a nominee in my mind, no question. And another player that, regardless of what happens this November, I think should be a nominee would be Wallace Satis. Again, much like Emmanuel Foso, has just had a meteoric rise from, I think he played for North Harbour, and then he's emerged at the Chiefs and just had a massive impact there. And now he's having it for New Zealand, where he's kind of gradually worked his way into the team. He has only made 4 starts. This Saturday against England will be his 5th start in 6 caps. A big November, and the Breakthrough Player of the Year award could well be Wallace Satis. So those are my first 3, the A class, if you like, the top 3. The next 3, these are guys that I think are trying to force their way onto the shortlist as things stand. And they would be Callum Cunningham South, who interestingly is going to be opposite Wallace Satis in that game at Twickenham this weekend. He's had a big rise, 21 years of age, plays for Harlequins. I am going to mention London Irish. I've mentioned that Emmanuel Foso came from Wasps, who went bust. It was London Irish that developed this guy, and they deserve a little bit of a mention as well. This guy is a freak. 120 odd kgs, 6'5", massive unit, and he can shift as well. And he's looked great when he's played for England. A big bruiser of a player. 7 caps, 3 starts over the summer against Japan, and then 2 against New Zealand. He will be starting against New Zealand. The thing is, I actually think if Ollie Chesson was fit, Chandler Cunningham himself would be on the bench. I would probably, in terms of World Breakthrough Player of the Year, he could get nominated if he has a big November for England. Possibly going to miss out. He may miss out on the shortlist too, Cortez Ratima. Another player that's involved in that game at Twickenham tomorrow. That is an interesting little subplot, these young players. Faye Waboso, Cunningham South, Finn Baxter's another one, Cortez Ratima, Wallace Satis, all players that could get themselves on the shortlist for this award. 8 caps, he's had 3 starts, and he starts against England. He's got 1 try to his name so far, and his battle with Cam Roigard is going to be a fascinating one to watch over the next few years. Here's a bit of a sleeper to complete my second bunch of 3 players. Here's a bit of a sleeper, Georges-Henri Collomb. I think this guy, I mean, I don't know whether World Rugby have any rules about the age of players, because he is 26. He's only just emerged onto the international scene though, and props do quite often develop a little bit later. But Atonio is out injured for France. This guy's already got 2 starts, 4 caps to his name this year. He could well be starting for France in some big test matches, and he's a massive unit, 145 kgs, giant man, plays for La Rochelle, and he looks very handy. So that's my second bunch of 3 players that could make the shortlist. Now a few more. Another Frenchman, Leo Baret. He played a couple of games starting during the Six Nations, a couple of starts over the summer as well, in July against Argentina. So that's 4 caps, 4 starts, and he looks very good, although he will probably be on the bench with Thomas Ramos starting, although Ramos could end up stepping up and playing 10 in order to get this guy in the team, basically ahead of Matthew Jalabert. So that's going to be a really interesting one to watch for France. This guy's got serious talent. Cam Winnett, what a year he's had. He definitely deserves a mention. 7 caps, 7 starts. He was a revelation in the Six Nations, and in what's been a really difficult and challenging year for Wales, Cam Winnett has been one of those real positives for Wales and has done brilliantly on his his introduction to international rugby. If he can finish the year strong, then he could well be nominated for Breakthrough Player of the Year, and that would be well deserved. This one, we're getting to players that are a little bit more outside selections. Finn Baxter, big future ahead. He's only 22, playing for Quins and now England. 3 caps to his name. He's on the bench against New Zealand. Who knows? If he has a big November, you never know. I'd say it's an outside bet for Finn Baxter. And the final 3 are, these are outsiders. Posolo Tuilangi, massive man, 20 years of age, 150 kilos, plays for Perpignan, and has had 6 caps for France, but only 1 start. I would suggest he's not really going to add to that too much, because Emmanuel Meafu is now available again. And arguably Tuilangi only got his start because of injuries to other French players, including Meafu. But one Frenchman who, man alive, I love this kid, and I hope France start him in these November tests. I would personally move Fickou to 12, and I would start Emen Gonn, who is elite. This guy is just classy. Plays for Section Palois, plays for Pau in the top 14. He's had 3 caps to his name. He did actually play a game before the World Cup, one of those summer friendly tests when France played a team of kids. I don't know whether that means he's not eligible for this award, but if he is, and he has a big November and starts for France, he could be one of those players that could play himself onto the shortlist. And the final name, and I don't know, again, just like Georges-Henri Collomb, I don't know if age is a factor. Maybe at 26, he's too old to be classed as a breakthrough player, but he's only just emerged onto the international scene this year. I will say he's only had 1 start for Ireland. He has played 5 caps though, but he is a Six Nations champion, and he slotted that drop goal away in Durban for a famous Irish victory. And even if for that alone, he deserves a mention on this list. Whether he'll get onto the shortlist, I doubt it in Kieran Frawley's case, because I don't expect him to start, and that will probably mean that other players get in ahead of him. And so for me, it's Emmanuel Foso, or Sasha Feinberg and Gomzulu, or Wallace Satis that are front runners to win it, with one of the others getting themselves onto the nominees list. What do you think? Let me know. Leave your comments down below. I'll be there with you. Getting stuck in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. And cannot wait for the rugby to begin this November. I'll see you on the next video.